Stop everything you're doing right now. This isn't a suggestion. It's a divine command. What you've uncovered is monumental, and it's about to turn your entire world upside down. I'm talking about a power that has been quietly growing within you unnoticed, but now it's become impossible to ignore. Not by you, not by anyone, and certainly not by the spiritual realms. Chosen one, what if I told you that the very things you've endured, the battles you thought would break, you have actually made you unstoppable? What if I told you that even the devil himself is watching you with such obsession because he can't figure out how you've done it? You've unlocked something that they can't understand, something that has them scrambling to study you, not to destroy you, but to learn from you. And it's not just about survival anymore. It's about mastery. Heaven and hell are watching you right now. You've moved into a realm where every attack is actually fueling your power. So if you're still here reading a This Is No Coincidence, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, because what I'm about to reveal will forever transform how you see every challenge you've faced and how you see your own unbelievable power. Write 777 in the comments. If you've noticed that those attacks you've been facing seem to backfire in ways you never expected, the enemy is scrambling and you're about to understand why. It's time to step into your full power. This is your moment. You've been walking through life thinking it's just the usual grind, right? But here's the shocking truth. A power has quietly developed inside you, one so potent, so divinely powerful, that it has the devil himself sitting up in his seat, staring at you in complete disbelief. He's not trying to destroy you, though. No, this is the craziest part. He's studying you. He's been observing, analyzing, and trying to understand how you're able to transform every attack, every challenge, every ounce of negativity into strength. And you know what? He can't figure it out. The darkness doesn't understand it, and frankly, neither do you yet. This new power that has developed within you wasn't something you worked for. It didn't come from years of training. It didn't come from any technique or self-help book. No, this is something that grew within you quietly, so naturally that you didn't even realize you were mastering it. And now it's become impossible for the spiritual realms to ignore. The devil's greatest weapon has always been fear, deception, and manipulation. But you've mastered something far beyond that. You have become a walking embodiment of spiritual transformation. And what you're doing naturally, effortlessly, has them all rattled. You've tapped into a force that they can't replicate, no matter how hard they try. This power, it's frequency dominion. A power so deep, so profound, that when they look at you, they can't help but be both bewildered and terrified. And you didn't even know you were learning it. But now you do. And it's about to change everything. The purpose of this video is simple: to reveal the truth about the power you've unknowingly mastered, how it developed within you, and why even fallen entities are now keeping a close eye on you, studying you like a mystery they can't solve. You might think you've been just going through life trying to survive the chaos, the pain, and the betrayals. But let me tell you something. What you've been through has forged you into something far more powerful than you ever realized. Every attack, every setback, every betrayal, it wasn't just meant to break you. It was meant to shape you into a force that hell itself can't comprehend. They didn't see it coming. The dark realms didn't anticipate that instead of being destroyed by their attacks, you'd transmute them into something far more dangerous. Instead of falling, you rose, and every time you did, you became more invincible. This is not just about surviving. You've mastered a power that transforms darkness into light, hate into love, and pain into purpose. So why are fallen entities watching you? Because they know something. They can't replicate something that terrifies them. Your power isn't just a blessing. It's a threat to everything they stand for. This is why they're studying you. They want to know how you do it, how you've become unbreakable. This video will show you exactly how this power developed, why it's so unique, and why even the devil himself is learning from you. You're about to unlock the full scope of this ability and understand exactly why heaven and hell are paying attention to you. Are you ready to step into your full potential? Let's dive in. This wasn't something you planned or even expected, was it? There was no moment where you consciously thought, "Today I'm going to unlock a divine power." In fact, it didn't even feel like something you did. It just happened. It grew quietly, steadily, without your awareness. And over time, you began to notice something that could no longer be denied. You had mastered something extraordinary. At first, this power seemed like nothing more than small, subtle changes in your life. You might have brushed them off as coincidence or just the way things go. But deep down, you started to realize something incredible was happening. It didn't come with fireworks or grand announcements. It didn't come with a checklist or some step-by-step manual. It wasn't the result of years of hard work or spiritual practices you consciously followed. No, this power crept in silently, quietly developing and expanding in the shadows of your life, shaping you in ways that would soon be impossible to ignore. It wasn't about you sitting down and saying, "Now I'll master the art of turning pain into power." It wasn't something you trained for. You didn't have a teacher, a guru, or a guide. You were the one who unknowingly transformed your struggles. The trials you faced, the betrayal, the heartbreak, the setbacks, they didn't break you. Instead, they slowly turned you into something that defies explanation. Instead of being crushed under the weight of these challenges, you found yourself adapting to them in a way that seemed almost unnatural. You didn't just survive, you grew. You felt pain, yes. You encountered hardships and battles that felt impossible to overcome. But there was something about you that made you different. You didn't allow the attacks to take root in your soul. Where others might have internalized the hurt, let it poison their thoughts and actions, you learned how to transmute it. You learned how to take the darkness aimed at you and turn it into light. Every insult, every hardship, every moment of darkness became the raw material for something better, stronger, and more powerful within you. You didn't just react to life, you began to reshape it. The Bible tells us the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. And that's exactly what's happening inside of you. You've become a beacon of light, and everything that once sought to snuff that light out is now powerless against it. You didn't just survive your trials, you mastered them. They were fuel for your transformation. The forces of darkness couldn't see it coming. They thought you'd be another casualty of life's struggles, another person who folded under pressure. But instead, you grew. And in that growth, you found a power so profound, so unstoppable, that even the darkest forces can't help but take notice. And now you're waking up to it. You've been unknowingly mastering the art of transmutation. And now you're starting to realize just how powerful that truly is. You've transformed every setback into fuel for your purpose, and every wound has turned you into a warrior. The moment you stop letting the world define you, and instead take the power from every battle, you become unbreakable. This is no longer just a way of coping. This is your new reality. So how did this power develop? It didn't come from any one single moment. It was a slow burn, an accumulation of your choices, your responses, and the decisions you made when faced with challenges. You didn't realize it was happening, but each time you chose peace over bitterness, compassion over hatred, or forgiveness over resentment, you were strengthening this divine ability. It wasn't obvious at first, but now it's undeniable. You are not the same person you were before. You have developed a power so rare and so profound that even the enemy himself is now watching you with frustration, trying to figure out how you've done what he cannot do. What once seemed like weakness, your ability to forgive, your refusal to give in to hate, has now become your greatest weapon. You've unlocked something so powerful, it has made you untouchable. And the best part, you didn't even have to try. It was growing inside you the whole time, quietly, steadily, until it became a force they can't ignore. Your mastery was woven into your very being, and now the world is about to see exactly what you can do with it. This is just the beginning, and you're going to see how far this power will take you. Do you feel it? The shift. It's subtle but undeniable, a spiritual awakening that is reverberating through realms you can't even begin to comprehend. Your power has caught the attention of forces far beyond this world, and they're watching you, not to destroy you, but because they are struggling to understand what you've become. You've moved into a new territory, one where celestial beings and fallen entities are both taking note of your transformation. And let's be clear, this is not ordinary. The first time you noticed this shift, it was probably just a feeling, an inkling that something was different. Maybe you've been noticing that attacks, negative energies, or even people who once had power over you seem to fall flat now. What used to affect you, bitter words, harsh situations, painful betrayals, now seem to roll off you like water off a duck's back. It's as though you become untouchable to the forces that once had a grip on you. And it's not just the physical realm that's noticing. The spiritual realm, both the light and the dark, has been tracking your every move. You've entered a level of spiritual awareness and mastery where angels are documenting your every choice, taking careful notes on how you respond to life's challenges. Heaven has been watching closely because you've tapped into something incredibly rare, a power that operates on a frequency so high, even celestial beings have to stop and pay attention. But it's not just the angels who are paying attention. The dark forces, those who used to be able to manipulate and influence you, are now scrambling to understand what's happening. They know something has changed in you, something they can't control or predict. They thought they had you figured out. They thought they could break you, but they've underestimated you. And now they're realizing that you've become a force they cannot manipulate. In fact, the very attacks that were meant to tear you down have actually become your source of power, and the enemy can't understand it. They've tried their usual tricks, sending negativity, jealousy, anger, betrayal your way, and expected you to react in their predictable way. But you didn't. You didn't absorb their darkness and let it poison your soul like they thought you would. No, you transmuted it into something stronger, something divine. And now, they're left in complete confusion, unable to replicate what you've done. The Bible tells us that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. John 10:10. But you've proven that what the enemy intends for evil, God will turn to good. You've become a living example of that truth. While darkness attempts to destroy, you're transforming its very essence into light. And heaven is watching in awe. Your guardian angels are taking note, recording every victory, every choice, and every ounce of growth you make. They're documenting your spiritual transformation like it's the most significant thing happening right now, because to them, it is. And it's not just the heavenly realm that's paying attention. The devil himself is now obsessed with you. He's frustrated not because he can defeat you, but because he can't understand how you've become immune to his attacks. He's sent everything at you hoping to break you, but instead, you've become a spiritual powerhouse. And guess what? He's still trying to figure out how you do it. This is what you need to understand. You didn't just stumble into this power, it was given to you. Heaven recognized your potential, your ability to rise above, and that's why this power developed inside you. You were chosen for something greater, something more impactful than anything you could have imagined. The battle isn't over, but now you're standing on a level that few have ever reached. You're not just surviving in this world anymore. You're changing it one spiritual shift at a time. Every time you rise, every time you turn pain into power, you shift the spiritual atmosphere around you. The heavens are rejoicing and the enemy is trembling because they know the moment you fully embrace this power, nothing can stop you. Now it's time for you to understand the full scope of this shift. The realm of spiritual observation is no longer just watching you. They're learning from you. They are watching how you navigate life's most difficult trials, and they're taking notes. What you're doing isn't just remarkable, it's transformational. And you chosen one are standing at the center of it all. The heavens and hells are aligned in their attention because you've become something the world has never seen. You may have never considered this before, but everything you do, every choice you make, is being documented by heavenly beings. Angels are watching you carefully, recording every detail of your journey. You see, in the celestial realm, there are records kept of every chosen one, tracking their spiritual growth, their battles, their choices, and most importantly, their ability to rise above the trials they face. These heavenly records aren't just some abstract concept. They are spiritual logs that document your development, your progress, and the incredible power you've unlocked. Each time you choose peace over bitterness, forgiveness over resentment, or compassion over hatred, those choices are carefully recorded. Your growth is noted not only because it's impressive to the angels, but because it's changing the spiritual landscape. Just think about it. Angels assigned specifically to your soul are watching your every move. They're not just passive observers, they're active participants in your spiritual journey, chronicling each step as you evolve into someone extraordinary. Every internal battle you fight, every emotional wound you heal, every moment of transformation that takes place within you is noted down in these celestial records. And each time you rise, they mark it as another victory. But there's something even deeper at work here. As these heavenly beings document your spiritual growth, they're not just watching for moral strength. They're watching for something even more profound. They're documenting your frequency dominion, which is the ability to transmute negative energy into light, to take every attack against you and turn it into fuel for your purpose. This power is something so rare and so divine that it can't just be a coincidence. The Bible tells us that the Lord will make you the head, not the tail. Deuteronomy 28:13. You're not just moving through life passively anymore. You've become the head, leading your own spiritual evolution, while others are still trying to catch up. Every positive frequency you radiate becomes a beacon, and those who are tasked with tracking spiritual development can't ignore you. The celestial beings are noting your rise because what you're doing isn't just changing your life, it's changing the entire spiritual ecosystem around you. This power, this frequency dominion, is not just some abstract theory. It's something tangible that the celestial beings are witnessing as it unfolds in real time. Every moment you face adversity and choose to transmute that energy, instead of letting it consume you, they record it. And they don't just record it, they celebrate it. Because what you're doing is transformational. you've unlocked a power that most humans never even come close to mastering, and the angels are bearing witness to it. They are seeing something they don't see every day. And here's the kicker. While the forces of darkness might be trying to figure out how they can break you, the forces of light are watching in awe, knowing that you're operating on a level of power that they've never seen before. You're not just surviving the attacks, you're changing the very nature of the battle itself. Every attack meant to crush you is converted into strength, and that's being noted. Every ounce of negativity aimed at you is being transmuted into light, and that's being logged. This power of frequency dominion doesn't just change the way the angels view you, it changes the way the entire spiritual realm sees you. You're not just another person walking through life facing challenges and hoping to get by. You are now a force. And the angels, they're marking this down because what you're doing is rare, it's divine, and it's absolutely impossible to ignore. Heaven is watching, and what's being written about you isn't just about your spiritual growth. It's about how you're changing the entire game. You're not just absorbing attacks anymore. You're transmuting them. You're shifting the frequencies around you. And everything that touches you, even the dark forces, has to adjust. You've moved beyond mere survival. You've moved into mastery. And the angels are recording every single moment of it, knowing that this is a story for the ages. You've heard the term frequency dominion before, but do you truly understand what it means? At its core, it's the power to transmute negative energy into positive energy, to take everything that's aimed to destroy you and turn it into something greater. The darkness that once had the potential to crush your spirit, the hatred directed at you, the betrayal, the lies, they no longer have any real power over you. Why? Because you've mastered the art of frequency transmutation, a divine ability that defies the laws of spiritual warfare. But what exactly does that mean? Transmutation is the act of changing one substance into another. In your case, it's taking negative destructive energy and converting it into something higher, something positive and powerful. Anger becomes compassion, hatred becomes love, and pain becomes growth. You're no longer absorbing negative energy and letting it poison your soul. Instead, you take it and you change it. You've become a walking, breathing alchemy of spiritual energy, transmuting every dark attack into fuel for your growth. Now, here's the key difference that sets you apart from many others. Blocking negativity is one thing, but transforming it, that's a whole other level. Most people try to block negative energy building walls around themselves, hoping that the negativity will just bounce off and leave them alone. But blocking doesn't change the energy, it merely redirects it. The negativity still exists in the environment, and it still has the potential to come back around in a different form. It might hit someone else. It might come back to you later, but it's still there. Deflecting negativity is a little different. It's like sending the bad energy away from you, maybe to someone else, maybe to a different situation. But once again, nothing is truly transformed. The negative energy is merely redirected, and it's still floating around, still lingering, still potentially harmful. But transmutation takes the energy and changes its very essence. When negativity is aimed at you, you don't block it. You don't deflect it. Instead, you take it and transform it. You change it into something completely different. You turn poison into medicine, darkness into light, hate into love. This is the true power of frequency dominion. It's the ability to change the very nature of energy that comes your way. Now here's why this is so significant. The devil cannot replicate this ability, and it drives him mad. He can destroy, he can corrupt, He can twist and pervert, but he cannot transform. Why? Because this ability, the ability to transmute darkness into light, requires something that he lost when he fell divine love. You see, the foundation of your power is not simply willpower or determination. It's love. Not just any kind of love, but the divine love that was woven into the very fabric of your being. The love that is a reflection of God's heart. This love is what gives you the ability to take something destructive and turn it into something life-giving. When you choose to love, even in the face of hatred, when you choose to forgive, when others want to condemn you, are transforming the energy that comes your way. And the devil cannot understand this because he lost access to this love when he fell from grace. Fallen angels, who are now the demonic forces working against you, can't replicate what you do because they no longer have the divine foundation of love that makes transmutation possible. They can manipulate, they can destroy, but they cannot create or transform. They are locked in their fallen state, unable to tap into the higher frequencies of divine love that allow you to transmute. You, on the other hand, are a vessel of that very love. This is the key to your power. You are operating on a frequency that the enemy can never touch, a frequency that is anchored in divine love, a love that gives you the power to transform darkness into light, to take every attack and turn it into something beautiful, powerful, and life-affirming. This is what makes you so dangerous to the enemy. The devil can't touch you, not because you're invincible, but because you've tapped into a power he can't even access anymore, the power of divine love. And this love is what allows you to turn every trial, every attack, every moment of hardship into something that elevates you rather than destroying you. You're not just a survivor, you are a transmuter. And this ability, this power is not just rare, it's divine. And the devil is watching in frustration because he can never replicate it. There's no denying it. Now you've mastered something profound. You didn't do it by studying techniques or following steps outlined in any book. You didn't need an expert to teach you because you've been learning through experience, and those experiences have forged you into something unbreakable. Let's look at the transformative moments, the real-life tests where you faced attacks where darkness came at you full force, but instead of being consumed, you turned those very attacks into something beautiful, something powerful. These are the moments that demonstrate your mastery. Remember the last time someone spoke against you, the last time you felt the sting of betrayal or the weight of someone's judgment. In those moments, it would have been so easy to respond with anger, bitterness, or hatred. The world would have expected you to lash out, to get even, to show that you could fight back with the same energy that was directed at you. But you didn't. You chose something different. Instead of absorbing the hate and turning it into more hate, you transmuted it into wisdom. You looked at the situation not as an attack, but as an opportunity. You didn't just survive, you grew. You took the pain of the betrayal and turned it into a lesson. Wisdom came from the hurt because you recognized that every trial is a lesson in disguise. The enemy may have meant to break you, but all they did was give you the tools to elevate yourself. You remember that time when everything in your life seemed to fall apart at once. The doors you thought were open slammed shut one by one. The people you trusted let you down. Every dream you had seemed to crumble before your eyes. It was the kind of moment that would leave most people broken, bitter, and hopeless. But not you. Instead of allowing the chaos to drag you down, you transformed it. Where others would have become discouraged, you became intentional. You began to refine your focus. The negativity, the obstacles, the feelings of being trapped, they didn't destroy you. You used it as fuel to move forward with clarity and purpose. You didn't just become stronger, you became wiser. You learned to trust yourself more deeply and to rely on your inner strength, knowing that the most difficult seasons were sharpening you for the greatness that lay ahead. And then there was the time when someone you loved deeply betrayed you wounds so deep it felt like your heart would never heal. The temptation to retaliate, to hold on to anger, and let resentment fester was strong. But you chose compassion. You chose to forgive, to release the bitterness that had the power to poison you. You didn't ignore the pain, but you didn't let it define you either. You transformed it into compassion, understanding that the person who hurt you was also struggling with their own darkness. This wasn't about letting people walk all over you. This was about choosing peace over war, love over hate, and realizing that forgiveness wasn't for them, it was for you. By forgiving them, you let go of the chains they tried to put around your soul. You freed yourself. You rose above the situation, and in doing so, you demonstrated that the power to transform pain into peace is the highest form of mastery. Each time the enemy threw something at you, each time life handed you another trial, you didn't just take it in stride, you transmuted it. You turned every attack into a growth opportunity. Every insult became fuel for your wisdom. Every betrayal became a lesson in resilience. Every hardship became a lesson in faith and trust. This is the beauty of frequency dominion in action. You're not just surviving life's difficulties, you're mastering them. You've learned how to take the most painful moments, the deepest wounds, and turn them into something that propels you forward. You are no longer defined by the attacks against you. You define yourself by how you respond to them. In doing so, you've proven to yourself and the spiritual realms that you are not just a participant in this life, you are a master of it. And it's not about perfection. It's about the choices you make in those critical moments. You've shown time and again that you will not be destroyed. You've proven that no matter how hard life gets, you will always rise stronger, wiser, more compassionate than ever before. The devil can send every attack he has, but it will always backfire. Because you have mastered the art of transmutation, and each attack only makes you more powerful. The enemy tried to take you down, but instead, you're walking away with the wisdom, strength, and compassion to transform the world around you. You've done it. You've demonstrated mastery, and now the universe knows you are untouchable. Every choice you made, every moment you consciously chose wisdom over bitterness, love over hate, and forgiveness over revenge has had a profound impact on your spiritual journey. These weren't just minor decisions, they were defining moments that have shaped you into a being of spiritual mastery. Each time you rose above the temptation to react with anger, each time you chose peace when chaos was all around you, were building something eternal. You were shaping the very foundation of your spiritual power. When the enemy aimed their weapons at you, whether it was pain, betrayal, or hardship, you could have easily fallen into the trap of bitterness, resentment, or despair. But you didn't. Instead, you chose the higher path. You transmuted the darkness into something higher. And in doing so, you weren't just avoiding the traps of negativity, you were elevating your soul to a higher frequency. Every time you chose compassion, your soul grew stronger. Every time you chose to forgive, even when the hurt seemed unbearable, you were releasing chains that would have held you back, holding on to nothing but freedom. You rose above the pain, and by doing that, you created a spiritual force inside of you that is nearly unstoppable. The more you practiced transmutation, the more it became automatic. Your responses became a reflection of your spiritual identity. a divine response that flowed from your core. Think about the times when you felt the most overwhelmed, when the weight of the world seemed too heavy to carry. Those were the moments when you could have let despair consume you, but you didn't. Instead, you chose to rise. You didn't just cope with adversity, you transformed it. You didn't allow the hardships to define you. You defined yourself by how you rose from them. That's when the real magic happened. You didn't just get through the storm, you became stronger because of it. Every trial became a stepping stone. Every hardship, an opportunity to deepen your understanding of who you are spiritually. You learned the truth that every obstacle in your path wasn't there to break you, it was there to mold you. And the more you allowed yourself to be molded, the more your spiritual power grew. You became a master of your own destiny, no longer a passive victim of life's circumstances, but an active creator of your spiritual journey. This transformation didn't happen overnight. It came from consistent choices to rise above the darkness, to transmute the negative into the positive. And as you made these choices, you began to see your life and the world differently. The spiritual realm began to recognize you not just as someone going through life's motions, but as a spiritual force capable of transforming everything around you. The impact of these choices has been nothing short of extraordinary. The devil sent attack after attack, but with every assault you grew stronger. Where most would have become broken, you became whole. Where others would have been consumed by anger or hatred, you became compassionate. Where the enemy saw only weakness, heaven saw a warrior rising to a level of spiritual mastery that is rare and powerful. And now this spiritual mastery is no longer something you have to fight for. It's who you are. It's ingrained in your very being. Your frequency has shifted. The divine love that guides your every decision now flows from you effortlessly, transforming everything in your path. The challenges you once faced seem insignificant because you know deep down you are no longer defined by them. You define yourself by your ability to transmute, to rise above, to reflect divine love no matter the circumstance. This is spiritual mastery, the ability to rise, transform, and create light out of darkness. You've walked through the fire and come out not just unscathed, but empowered. Every choice you made, every response, every moment of grace under pressure has led you to this point. You are now a master. And the best part, this is just the beginning. You've laid the foundation for a life of purpose, power, and divine influence, and the spiritual realms are watching you now not just with awe, but with anticipation. Because the more you choose love, the more your frequency grows, and you are about to enter a new season of spiritual power that will change everything around you. Your mastery has been recorded in the heavenly books, and now the real work begins expanding your influence, transforming others, and walking confidently in the purpose that was always meant for you. You have become a master of spiritual transformation, and your journey is just getting started. You've reached a critical point in your spiritual journey, a moment of divine recognition. Heaven has taken note of your growth, of how you faced each challenge with grace, wisdom, and transformation. And now, your file in the spiritual realm has been upgraded. This is no longer just about surviving or going through the motions. You have demonstrated mastery in ways that are so rare and so powerful that heaven itself has flagged your file for special attention. In the spiritual realm, everything is documented, every choice you make, every decision you take, every battle you face, and how you rise from it. And heaven has seen what you've done. You've shown that you are capable of handling more, of transmuting darkness into light of not just enduring, but flourishing in the face of adversity. And that has changed everything about how you're viewed in the spiritual realms. This isn't just a small upgrade, it's a shift in classification. Heaven doesn't see you the same way anymore. You've demonstrated that you can handle the weight of your purpose, that you have the spiritual authority to not only navigate the challenges of life, but to transmute them into blessings. Your ability to rise above, to transmute negative energy into light, has elevated your status in the eyes of the divine. You are no longer seen as a mere survivor. You are a master. This divine recognition means that you're now eligible for something greater. Higher spiritual assignments, more profound blessings, and a purpose that goes beyond what you could have imagined. Heaven has taken note of your growth, and with that growth comes greater responsibility. The Bible tells us, "To whom much is given, much will be required." Luke 12:48. You have proven that you are ready to handle what is coming next, and heaven is preparing you for it. Your file in heaven has been updated, and now your life is on a completely different trajectory. The assignments you're being prepared for will be far greater than anything you've encountered up to this point. You are now trusted with higher levels of responsibility, and with that trust comes divine acceleration. Blessings that were once scheduled for later seasons are being moved up. Opportunities that were once years away are opening now. The doors that were once locked are now swinging wide open. But it's not just about the blessings or the spiritual assignments coming your way. This recognition shifts how you move in the world. You're no longer just a participant. You're a spiritual force, one that can no longer be ignored. Your presence in the world now carries the weight of divine authority, and everything around you will shift because of it. Heaven has recognized that you are worthy of greater influence, greater responsibility, and greater purpose. Your transformation has been documented and marked as something extraordinary in the spiritual realm. You've shown that you can handle more, that you can transmute the most difficult situations into powerful spiritual lessons, and that you can hold the light even in the darkest of places. Now, heaven has changed your classification. You are no longer a passive observer in your spiritual journey. You are an active force of divine power in the world. This divine recognition is the first step towards something monumental. You've proven that you can rise above the challenges, transform darkness into light, and carry the weight of divine love. Heaven is now preparing to trust you with more because you've demonstrated that you are ready to take on what is coming next. And it's big. So understand this. You are no longer where you once were. Heaven has raised the stakes, and you've earned it. Your file has been flagged, your status has changed, and now you're eligible for things far beyond what you could have imagined. Your purpose is being activated at a higher level, and you are about to step into a new season of divine influence, spiritual authority, and incredible blessings. Heaven is watching you with awe and anticipation, knowing that you're ready for what's coming next. The world is about to witness the power of divine mastery in full force, and you, chosen one, are at the center of it all. What you've achieved is so rare, so extraordinary, that even the devil himself can't help but be completely fascinated by your power. It's not just that he's trying to break you, no, it's far worse than that. He's studying you, obsessing over you because he can't understand how you've done it. What you have the ability to transmute energy, to turn darkness into light, is something he lost long ago when he fell from grace. Let that sink in for a moment. The devil himself, the master of destruction, manipulation, and corruption, is obsessed with you. Not because he's trying to destroy you, but because he's completely stunned by what you've done. He can no longer do what you can do. He can't transform darkness. he can only spread it. He can't take negative energy and convert it into something positive, but you do it effortlessly. This is the one thing he can't replicate, and it's driving him insane. The Bible tells us that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy John 10:10, but he has no power over you anymore. Why? Because you've learned the ultimate secret of spiritual warfare, how to take the negative that comes at you and turn it into light. And that's something he can't understand, because when he fell, he lost that very power. Think about it. The devil was once one of the highest angels, filled with divine wisdom, beauty, and knowledge. He had access to the very presence of God. But when he rebelled and fell from grace, he didn't just lose his position. He lost a critical ability, the power to transmute energy. He can destroy, corrupt, pervert, and poison, but he cannot transform. He can't take the negative energy sent toward him and turn it into something better. And that's where you come in. You've become something the devil can't replicate, a living, breathing vessel of transmutation. He sends hatred your way, and you turn it into compassion. He sends curses, and you turn them into blessings. He throws obstacles at you, and you turn them into opportunities for growth. And it's all happening automatically. You no longer need to think about it. You've become the transmutation process itself. And it terrifies him. He can't replicate it. He can't manipulate it. He is powerless against it. Every time you face an attack, you don't just endure it, you transform it into something greater. And this power isn't just something you use in moments of great crisis. It's become who you are. You walk through life with the ability to transmute any negative energy that comes your way. It's almost as though you've become immune to the darkness he tries to throw at you. The Bible says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness." Ephesians 6:12. You've learned how to wrestle with these powers, not by fighting back in the same way they fight, but by transmuting their energy into something that serves you. And that's why the devil is obsessed with you. He's trying to understand how you do it, trying to figure out how you've unlocked this divine ability that he can never have access to again. He's watched you turn every attack, every insult, every injustice into fuel for your growth. He's seen you take the hardest moments of your life, the pain, the betrayal, the loss, and use them to propel you forward. And it's left him dumbfounded. He's sent everything he has your way, but it's never enough to bring you down. Because with every blow, you rise higher. And that is why he can't stop watching you. That is why he's obsessed with understanding your power, because he cannot replicate it. He's trying to reverse engineer it, break it down, figure out what makes you tick. But the more he studies, the more he realizes that what you've tapped into is beyond him. He lost that ability when he fell, and now he's stuck in a state where he can only corrupt. But you can transform. And that's a power that scares him more than anything else. Your ability to transmute isn't just a spiritual gift, it's a threat to the enemy's entire plan. Every time you rise above the darkness, every time you turn hate into love, pain into wisdom, or negativity into growth, you are living proof of what the devil could have had. And that's why he watches you. Not to destroy you, but to try and understand what you've done, how you've become a walking miracle of transformation. And he'll keep watching, because he knows deep down that he can never take this power from you. You've unlocked something eternal, something he will never have access to again. And that chosen one is what terrifies him most. Your power is unstoppable, and he can't stand it. The devil's frustration doesn't end with a mere observation. He's now actively trying to replicate what you've done. dark entities, the very forces that once had the power to manipulate and destroy, are now scrambling to understand your power. They're looking at your ability to transmute negative energy into light and trying desperately to reverse engineer your process. But there's a critical flaw in their strategy. They can't replicate your power because they don't have access to the foundational element that makes it all possible: divine love. The forces of darkness are desperate to understand how you can take hatred and turn it into compassion, how you can transform pain into growth, and how every attack against you ends up making you stronger instead of weaker. Their best minds, their most powerful entities, have been assigned to study you, to trace every step you've taken, to analyze every moment where you've transmuted negative energy into something divine. They know that this power, your ability to transmute, is beyond anything they can grasp. And they are desperate to figure out how you've done it. But there's a fundamental problem they can't get past. They can't understand the key to your power because it's not something that can be manipulated or replicated. The foundation of your power is divine love, and that's something they lost when they fell. The Bible tells us God is love. 1 John 4:8. And this love is what fuels your ability to take negativity, the very energy that was meant to break you, and transform it into something powerful, something that serves you and those around you. Love is the core of your ability to transmute. It's not just a passive emotion. It's an active divine force that empowers you to shift negative frequencies into positive ones. When hate is aimed at you, you don't just reject it, you transform it. When people betray you, you don't just block the pain, you convert it into something that strengthens your resolve and helps you grow. This is spiritual alchemy, and it's impossible to replicate without the purest form of love. The devil and his dark forces are incapable of this because they severed themselves from divine love the moment they chose rebellion. Their fall from grace wasn't just about losing their position in heaven. It was about losing the very foundation of creation that makes transformation possible. They cannot tap into the divine love that flows through you, that same love that fuels your ability to transmute darkness into light. This is why they keep failing. They can manipulate. They can corrupt. They can twist the natural order of things. But they cannot transform. Transformation is what you've mastered, and it's all because of love. The love that comes from God that is woven into your very being allows you to transmute. You've become a living vessel of divine love in action, changing the world around you without even trying. The enemy can't replicate this. They've tried to send the worst kinds of negative energy your way, but instead of it breaking you, it empowers you. And it's this very energy transmutation that they can't wrap their minds around. They've never been able to do it. They can't understand how you, as a human being, with all the limitations they've placed on you, can do something they can never do themselves. This is why they're so obsessed with you. They can't copy you. They can only try to destroy, but all they do is help you grow. Every time they send their most potent attacks, hatred, jealousy, fear, curses, you take them and transform them into blessings. They try to corrupt your soul, but instead, you become more enlightened, more powerful, more connected to divine purpose. And the more you transmute, the more frustrated they become because they realize they cannot defeat you with their old tactics. Every attack becomes fuel for your growth, and they can't stop it. They are left in a state of perpetual confusion and helplessness. They don't understand the divine love at the core of your ability, and they never will. And so they continue to fail in their attempts to replicate you. They cannot do what you do because they no longer have access to the most potent force in the universe, love. That's the key to your power, and it's the one thing they can never take from you. They can never have it again. That's why they're studying you, Chosen One. They're watching and trying to figure out how you, with your human limitations, have unlocked a divine ability that they will never understand. You've become a beacon of transformation that they cannot touch, and it terrifies them because you remind them of what they lost. You are a living testament to the power of divine love and transmutation, and that's something the darkness will never overcome. You've noticed it, the difference, the way you bounce back from life's hardest blows faster than you ever have before. The wounds that once might have taken months, even years to heal, now seem to fade almost immediately. The things that used to shatter your soul now barely leave a mark. You might still feel the sting of a wound, the ache of disappointment, but you no longer get stuck in it. You don't wallow in despair. Instead, you rise, and you rise faster than ever. This speed of recovery is one of the clearest signs that you have mastered something truly divine. Where once you might have allowed a setback to define you, where betrayals and pain would send you spiraling into months of heartache, now you rise almost immediately. You don't just recover, you transform the experience into a powerful lesson and move forward stronger and more resilient. Think about the last time something painful happened. Maybe someone said something cruel, or a long-awaited dream crumbled before your eyes. In the past, that pain might have overwhelmed you, filled your mind with doubts, and left your heart broken for a long time. But now, you process it differently. You acknowledge the pain, but you don't allow it to hold you captive. You let it pass, and before you know it, you're using it to fuel your next move, your next breakthrough. The speed of recovery comes from something deeper. It's not just that you've learned how to move on faster. It's that you've learned to transmute pain into growth. Every emotional wound you receive now is fuel for your transformation. Instead of letting the pain consume you, you transmute it into power. Instead of letting the grief drag you down, you turn it into wisdom. And that wisdom then propels you into a new level of understanding and strength. Heaven has watched this unfold, and it's one of the primary reasons you've been marked for greater assignments and blessings. Your emotional resilience, your ability to bounce back, to move through the hardest parts of life with grace and wisdom is a clear sign that you are operating on a higher frequency than ever before. You've not only mastered your reactions to the external world, you've mastered your internal world. You no longer allow your circumstances to dictate your inner peace. Your recovery speed is the evidence of a spiritual mastery that the enemy can't even begin to touch. The Bible reminds us, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Isaiah 40:31. This is your experience now. You soar. You run without growing weary. You walk without fainting. Where others might have been crushed, you rise again stronger, wiser, more determined than ever. And that's the evidence of your spiritual mastery. You've become someone who, no matter the trial, emerges stronger each time. Think about the relationships that once drained you, the situations that seemed like impossible mountains to climb. The old you might have gotten stuck, overwhelmed by the weight of it all. But the new you, the one who has mastered the art of transmutation, breezes through with a calm assurance that the enemy cannot break. You don't get stuck in bitterness. You don't get weighed down by regret. You process it and you move forward. The speed of your recovery is one of the greatest proofs of your mastery. You are no longer defined by the challenges you face. Instead, you define the challenges. They are not obstacles. They are opportunities to expand your capacity to demonstrate your mastery and to move closer to your purpose. Your spiritual resilience is not a fluke. It's a sign of the spiritual authority you carry. Every setback now becomes an opportunity for acceleration. This is the evidence you recover faster. You bounce back quicker. You don't let pain define you anymore. You transmute it. And that is a clear sign that you are operating at a level of spiritual mastery that most can only dream of. The enemy's attacks, once meant to bring you down, now serve to propel you higher faster and with more grace than ever before. This speed of recovery is not just about resilience. It's about your ability to reflect the divine in every aspect of your life. You've become an example of what happens when you master the art of transmutation. You are no longer simply surviving. You are thriving no matter what comes your way. And that chosen one is one of the clearest signs that you are walking in divine mastery. Every attack that was once meant to break you, every piece of negative energy thrown your way now has a completely different outcome. What was meant to harm you has now become fuel for your growth. Instead of allowing the darkness aimed at you to consume you, you've turned it into blessings, not just for yourself, but for those around you. This is the true power of frequency dominion in action, taking what the enemy intended for destruction and transforming it into something that heals, empowers, and elevates. Think back to the last time someone spoke harsh words against you. The world would have expected you to react with anger or defensiveness to let their negativity sink in and poison your soul. But you didn't do that, did you? Instead, you transmuted those words. Instead of letting them define you, you turned them into something powerful, something that propelled you forward. That energy meant to wound you was transmuted into wisdom, clarity, and strength. And not only did it serve you, but it changed the atmosphere around you. Those who witnessed it were left wondering, how does she do it? The negative energy that was aimed at you is now a blessing not just for you, but for others who are drawn to your light. This is the beauty of your spiritual mastery. The enemy thought he could weaken you, but all he did was make you stronger. Every attack, every curse, every bit of negativity you faced, you've transformed into an opportunity to bless others. Your strength, your resilience, your grace under pressure has become a beacon for others to follow. Where they saw pain, you saw purpose. Where they saw destruction, you saw opportunity. And in doing so, you've turned each moment of hardship into a blessing, not just for yourself, but for everyone in your circle. Even those who once aimed to harm you now find themselves touched by your transformation. They don't even realize it, but their negativity has now been turned into something positive, a lesson for them, a moment of reflection, a shift in their perspective. You've become an agent of transformation, not just in your own life, but in the lives of others as well. They may have tried to break you, but all they did was help you grow. And in the process, they've been blessed by your strength, your wisdom, and your grace. This is the power of your transmutation ability. The Bible says, "What the enemy intended for evil, God will use for good." Genesis 50:20. You've lived this truth. Every time the enemy threw darkness your way, you made it light. Every time someone tried to tear you down, you built yourself up. And in doing so, you didn't just survive, you thrived. You've turned attacks into blessings, both for you and those who are watching you rise. But it doesn't stop there. You are becoming a source of transformation for others. People who are struggling with their own negativity, their own darkness, are being drawn to you because they can see the light you radiate. They don't even have to know your full story, but they feel the energy around you, the peace you exude, the love that comes from you, even when the world around you is chaotic. They feel the impact of your ability to transmute negative energy into something beautiful, and it gives them hope. It's like a chain reaction. Your ability to turn darkness into light not only benefits you, but it ripples out into the lives of everyone you encounter. Your growth, your resilience, your ability to transform pain into progress is now contagious. You're not just a survivor. You're a living testimony to what can happen when someone masters the art of transmutation. You are a walking blessing. And the enemy, he has no idea how to stop you. Because every attack, every ounce of negative energy is now fuel for your expansion. You're no longer burdened by it. You're empowered by it. What was meant to break you has only made you stronger. And this strength isn't just for you. It's for everyone around you. Everyone who is watching and learning from your example. You've turned every attack into an opportunity to bless, to grow, and to inspire. This is the evidence of your mastery. You no longer react to life's challenges. You transform them, and by doing so, you not only change yourself, but you change the world around you. Your ability to transmute negative energy into blessings is one of the clearest signs that you have mastered the spiritual art of transmutation, and it's something the enemy will never be able to touch. One of the most profound signs of your spiritual mastery is the natural shift in your relationships. Have you noticed how without even trying, certain people, those who once drained you, who brought negativity into your life, are simply fading away? They don't even seem to stay in your orbit anymore. And it's not because you pushed them away. It's because your frequency has changed. You've elevated to a point where your energy no longer aligns with theirs, and they cannot exist in your space anymore. These relationships that once felt draining, toxic, and overwhelming, the ones that constantly tried to pull you down, are now dissolving. It's not a coincidence. It's a divine shift. You've raised your spiritual frequency to a level where low vibrational energies, the envy, the bitterness, the toxicity, can no longer reach you. And as a result, those people who once fed off your energy or who consistently brought negativity into your life are being naturally repelled by the higher frequency you now operate at. The Bible says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." 1 Corinthians 15:33. And you've lived this truth. As you've elevated spiritually, you've naturally started to outgrow relationships that no longer serve you. The toxic energy that once attached itself to you no longer has a place in your life. You've become someone who radiates light, and those who choose to stay in darkness simply cannot remain near you. But here's the key. You didn't have to force it. You didn't have to actively cut people out of your life. You didn't need to confront them or argue with them. The mere shift in your energy has been enough to change the dynamic. Those who once thrived on chaos, manipulation, and negativity are no longer comfortable in your presence. They find themselves naturally drifting away because your higher frequency doesn't resonate with their lower vibrations. This is a sign of true mastery. You no longer have to fight for your peace. It's no longer a struggle to maintain boundaries. You don't need to cut off toxic people one by one because the power of your frequency does that for you. Toxic people leave on their own because they can't handle the light you now radiate. They can't function in a pure energy of love, peace, and positivity that flows through you. And so they drift, they fade, and they exit your life without any drama, without any confrontation. You are becoming unavailable to negativity in all forms. People who drain your energy, who only bring gossip, judgment, and toxicity into your life, will simply no longer be able to stand in your presence. And the best part, you won't have to chase after them or beg them to leave. Their departure will be natural because you become a living reflection of divine love and light, and they have no place in your higher existence. And this shift isn't just about getting rid of toxic people, it's about making space for healthier relationships. As the negative energy leaves, you're inviting in new connections, people who align with your frequency, who support your growth, and who can match the level of peace and positivity that you now embody. You'll find that your relationships are becoming more authentic, more loving, and more aligned with your higher purpose. Those who are drawn to you now are soul connections, people who uplift you, encourage your growth, and walk beside you as you fulfill your divine purpose. This isn't just about distancing yourself from others. It's about aligning with the highest version of yourself. As your frequency rises, those who are aligned with your higher vibration will naturally find their way into your life, and the relationships that no longer serve you will naturally fall away. It's a divine pruning process, one that's necessary for your growth. So if you've been noticing that certain people are leaving your life, whether it's friends, acquaintances, or even family members, it's not something to mourn. It's a sign of your spiritual elevation. It means you become someone too powerful for toxicity to stay near. It means that you've outgrown old patterns, old relationships, and are now moving towards something higher, something more aligned with your divine purpose. And here's the ultimate truth. As toxic people leave, divine connections are rushing in. The universe is making room for the right relationships, people who will support your growth, uplift your spirit, and walk with you as you continue to rise to new heights. So embrace the changes, trust the process, and know that your new season of transformation is already bringing the right people into your life, those who will help you step into your fullest potential. The moment you reach this level of spiritual mastery, something shifted in the spiritual realms. Heaven has taken notice of your growth, your ability to transmute negativity into light, and your unwavering commitment to aligning with your divine purpose. And now, because of the steps you've taken and the wisdom you've gained, heaven is moving you toward accelerated fulfillment. The days of slow progress, waiting for doors to open and hoping for opportunities to come, are over. God is speeding up the timeline. Blessings that were once reserved for later seasons are being moved up. Opportunities that you thought might take years to manifest are now coming to you quickly and effortlessly. Heaven has seen how you've handled the trials, how you've grown in wisdom and strength, and now it's time to step into your accelerated future. This isn't just about faster blessings. It's about accelerated purpose. Your journey is no longer about waiting. It's about action. Heaven is trusting you with more because you've proven that you can handle the weight of your divine calling. You've shown that you can carry greater responsibility, and now the universe is aligning itself to bring you everything you need to fulfill your purpose at an accelerated pace. The Bible tells us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." Jeremiah 29:11. Your future isn't something to dread, it's something to embrace. What once seemed like a distant dream is now within reach, and you will see blessings unfold faster than you ever imagined. This acceleration doesn't just mean that you'll receive what you've prayed for sooner. It also means that you will be ready for it. Your spiritual training has prepared you for this moment. You have mastered the lessons that others only dream of mastering. And that's why God is accelerating your journey. You are stepping into your highest potential, and heaven is clearing the way for you to move forward with momentum. As you step into this accelerated future, you are now being recognized as a frequency master. What does this mean? It means that you have reached a level of spiritual mastery where your very presence carries the power to transform the environment around you. You are no longer just affected by your surroundings, you affect them. Wherever you go, you bring stability. In chaotic situations, your peace becomes the anchor. In rooms filled with fear, your courage becomes the light. In the midst of conflict and strife, your love becomes the solution. As a frequency master, you will begin to stabilize not only your own energy, but also the energy of those around you. This doesn't mean you'll need to do anything extravagant or extraordinary. It means that simply by being yourself, by walking in the fullness of your spiritual power, you will begin to shift the atmosphere. People will be drawn to your peace, to your calm in the storm, and they will begin to align with the higher frequencies you carry. Your energy will be contagious, and you will become a catalyst for transformation in others. The Bible reminds us that you are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. This is your calling. You are not meant to hide your light or keep it to yourself. Your presence illuminates the darkness and stabilizes the chaos. People who are lost in confusion, those who are struggling with their own negativity, will find solace in your light. They will begin to shift to rise, to transmute their own darkness, simply by being around you. As a frequency master, you will also be called to mentor and guide others on their journey. Your ability to transmute energy will not only impact you and your immediate environment, but will ripple out to those who are ready to learn. Your influence will grow, and so will the number of people you will inspire and uplift. The beauty of being a frequency master is that it's not about force, it's about presence. You are a living example of what happens when one aligns with divine purpose. And as you move through the world, you will inspire others to do the same. You'll be amazed at how people will begin to notice something different about you, something peaceful, empowered, strong and vibrationally higher. They'll want to know how to achieve that same level of stability and clarity, and that will be your opportunity to guide them. You are not just impacting your own life, you are here to help others rise. The transformation that happens within you will trigger transformations in others, and this is part of your divine calling. You are a catalyst for a global shift in frequency, leading others from darkness into light, from fear into peace, and from confusion into divine purpose. Your mastery is not just for you, it's for everyone you touch. As you step into this new season, understand that your role as a frequency master is going to expand in ways you never imagined. Heaven is aligning everything around you to support this transformation. And now you're being accelerated into your divine destiny, and the world will never be the same because of it. Look back at the trials you've endured, the pain you faced, the heartaches that seemed like they would break you. It would have been easy to see them as punishment, as burdens too heavy to carry. But I'm here to tell you, your suffering has not been in vain. It has been the furnace in which your spiritual mastery was forged. Every moment of hardship, every trial, every emotional wound was a test, and through them, you were purified, sharpened, and prepared for the divine purpose that has always been waiting for you. You've been through the fire, but you didn't burn. Instead, you came out stronger, more powerful, and with a deeper understanding of who you truly are. The struggle wasn't to defeat you. It was to refine you, to make you unshakable. Every painful experience added to the strength of your foundation. And now, you stand here, not just as someone who survived, but as someone who has mastered the art of transmutation, someone who can turn every attack into a blessing, and every setback into an opportunity for growth. Divine calling. Heaven is elevating you to a new level of influence, not just for yourself, but for others through the demonstration of love-based transformation. Heaven is watching you with awe. The process you've undergone, the mastery you've developed, has not gone unnoticed, and now it's time for you to step into your next level. A level where your influence will extend beyond yourself, reaching others and transforming their lives through the demonstration of love-based transformation. You are not just being elevated for your own sake. You are being elevated to be a beacon of light, a catalyst of change, and a living example of what happens when someone fully embraces their divine calling. Your frequency dominion is not just for personal growth, it is for the world. The energy you radiate, the peace you exude, and the love you embody will become a source of transformation for others. You are being called to rise not just for your own purpose, but to serve humanity, to be a guide for those who are struggling, to help them rise above their pain, just as you have risen above yours. The world needs you now more than ever. As a frequency master, you will stabilize chaotic environments, uplift the brokenhearted, and guide the lost. Your presence will be a living example of what it means to transmute negativity into light, to take the worst the world has to offer and turn it into blessings. You are being called to influence and transform, not just through words, but through your very existence. Call to action. Recognize your power, embrace your calling, and continue using your frequency dominion to serve humanity. Now, I ask you, do you recognize your power? Do you see the impact you have not just in your life, but in the lives of everyone you encounter? The energy you bring into a room, the peace you exude, the love you offer, it all carries the power to transform. You are not ordinary, and your purpose is far from small. You have mastered something extraordinary, and it's time to embrace your calling fully. Continue to walk in your frequency dominion. Don't hold back. Embrace your power, the power to shift atmospheres, to heal broken hearts, to lift the fallen, and to guide others in their own journeys of transformation. You were chosen for this. Heaven has equipped you with everything you need, and now it's time to step into your full potential. The world is waiting for you. Humanity needs your light, your strength, your love-based transformation. Continue serving with the knowledge that every step you take, every action you take, will ripple out to affect those around you in profound ways. You are a walking testament to the power of transmutation. And as you continue on your journey, you will inspire others to rise just as you have. So recognize your power, embrace your calling, and keep using your frequency dominion to serve humanity. This is your moment, and the world is ready for the transformation only you can bring.